for international professional boxing.
Good evening from the ringside at Wembley Arena. Sunday night boxing. The British heavyweight prospect Frank Bruno against James Bonecrusher Smith from the United States. Now, the reason we're here on a Sunday night is that this Bruno-Smith fight is going to be televised live back to the States for their Sunday afternoon sports programs. So Bruno tonight is on trial in front of the American public, and he has to justify his recently acquired number 9 contender position in the world heavyweight title race. Well, as you can imagine, a big and excited and expectant crowd here at Wembley, waiting now for Smith and Bruno. You only have to listen to that roar, and you know that the British boxing crowd have found the heavyweight hero they've been looking for since the days of Henry Cooper. And this fight tonight takes place on the 70th anniversary of the birth of perhaps the greatest heavyweight champion of them all, the late Joe Louis. The time for clowning is over from Bonecrusher, and the time for punching is here.
Round 1.
And Bruno comes out looking businesslike in somber dark trunks. And the balding Bonecrusher, 29 years old, 6 feet 4 inches, a man who came to boxing late in life. Less experienced professionally than Bruno. 14 fights against Bruno's 21. 21 fights, 21 wins for Bruno, and all the wins inside the distance.
Right.
Only one defeat on Bonecrusher's record, and that was in his first pro fight. (16'3", James Bonecrusher Smith weighs. Big man. He's 4.5 pounds heavier than Bruno, but he moves lightly on his feet. Smith trying to work his way underneath. Coming in, weaving and ducking. Bruno boxes straight up and down in a line. No lateral movement from Bruno. Bruno recently promoted to number 9 in the world rankings. There's the first big right. And he felt that. Smith. head easy to find. We remember Jumbo Cummings and the big right hand that had Frank out on his feet.
Right. Right.
Bruno has done the better work in the first round. And this crowd here at Wembley, they really have taken to Bruno. He's become a new hero in British boxing at 22 years of age. Only a fraction shorter than his opponent. He's had 2 months out of competition since he put away Juan Figueroa of Argentina in this very ring on March the 13th. 67 seconds it took him. And he threw a big right in this first round that threatened no good for Smith. Smith took that on the side of the jaw, and he blinked, but he took it. Smith looks composed. Works in the United States prison system, helping inmates who want to move on to higher education. He's a college graduate himself, man of intelligence and humor.
Second out. Round 2.
Marked difference of styles. Bruno not weaving at all, just moving up and down in a straight line, but Smith all the time bobbing and weaving, working a way in. Useful left hand. Bruno's left that time spelled trouble. He hurts men with either hand. Smith's face reddened already. He's taken a couple of hefty whacks, Smith. He's taken them, but he doesn't look too comfortable. And he's not nearly as lively on his feet now as he was. Smith saw that right coming, but only just. It's quite marked around the face now, Smith. Bruno not wanting to make any mistakes, taking his time. A night on which he must not slip up. He met him well with the left hook over the top. And Bruno was cool under pressure at the finish there. Smith came back well, takes the applause of the crowd. But noticeably, Bruno, when he was under pressure in the closing seconds, stayed cool, and he was fencing off the punches. Just have a look again. Nice left hook, he came in over the top there, and that stung Smith into retaliation for the closing seconds. So 2 useful rounds marked up already by Bruno. Bruno really has packed him in.
Second out. Round 3.
It would be a mistake at this point to underestimate Smith. He's taken 2 or 3 of Bruno's best punches, and he's still in there and he's fighting back. And Bruno under some pressure himself now. And the test is coming. The test is here for Bruno. The man's posing problems, the crowd getting behind Bruno. Smith has managed to ride some of Bruno's punches. Smith throwing much less leather now. Good right. Bruno met him with a beautiful right. Three good rounds for Bruno. And Big Frank knows that the opposition tonight is a little bit tougher than some he's had in the past. The best man since Jumbo Cummings. He threw one very good right just towards the end of this round. He met him coming, there it was. Almost pulled him up in his tracks. So far, it's gone well for Bruno. But this man could well be dangerous still.
Second out. Round 4.
Bruno's shown a fair assortment of punches tonight. Done some good jabbing. He's left hooked well. He's crossed the right well. The one thing we perhaps haven't seen from him is the uppercut. He has to work his way in. Bruno, this man's got a very long reach, 82-inch reach. Still dangerous. I think Bruno might just need to step up a gear here. Beautiful right uppercut. He's saving that one up. The bell's coming up. There it is. He looked as though he might go in there and do some damage. And Bonecrusher Smith clowns his way back to the corner, but he's not looking nearly as fit as when he came into the ring.
Second out. Round 5.
slippery customer is Smith. For a big man, he moves quite well. He slips punches well. This is valuable experience for Bruno. He's had a lot of very quick fights, and he needs somebody like this who can set him a few problems like Cummings did. Cummings went 7 rounds.
Right, step right back. Step back.
Bruno well in front. Hasn't lost a round. And Bruno looks him long in the eye at the end of that one, trying to gauge how much he had left. The corner must be well satisfied. He's hardly taken a punch. He's never really made a false move. When he's been under pressure, he's come out of it well. And all in all, so far, it's gone well for him without being spectacular.
Second out. Round 6.
Well, only one of Bruno's previous opponents has got as far as round 6, and that was Jumbo Cummings.
Right. Right when you're told. Back him up. Jump up.
Harry Gibbs just having a little word with him. Make sure there's not too much mauling. Just for the record, the last time Bruno was beaten was back in 1979 as an amateur. A man called Joe Crystal from Ireland outpointed him and put him down, incidentally. But Frank more than had his revenge later on. Right for right there. And suddenly Smith gets confident, and Frank is very cool indeed on the ropes. This is where the gym work comes up. He really ought to get off the ropes, sir. No place to be. Should be turning his man now and getting out into the centre of the ring. Harry Gibbs has probably done it for him. No, he's still standing there. He really should get off there. He's trying to do an Ali. And he saw the round out on the ropes. And all in all, I think Bonecrusher Smith now looks slightly better physically than he did round about rounds 2 or 3. He's regained a bit of confidence. He's been waiting for the big onslaught to come, and because Bruno's been very cautious, he might now be thinking, maybe I've got a chance.
Second out. Round 7.
I wonder if Bruno will be given the instructions now. Right, let's go to work. I would think Bruno's thrown his right hand less tonight than I've ever seen before. And there's obviously a policy in that. No chances being taken on the big occasion. But he doesn't want to let Smith get too cocky. round 7. The danger signs flapping here for Bruno. He doesn't want to take those. First big attack by Bruno for a long time. 30 seconds to go in this round. This crowd willing Bruno to finish it here. And Smith is still very strong. And suddenly goes up a grade. And Bruno's right back in the same position he was at the end of the last round. Same place on the ropes, and they stare into each other's eyes at the end of the 7th. And James Bonecrusher Smith from Magnolia, North Carolina, is going to go further than any of Bruno's previous opponents into the 8th. Well, this man was dangerous at the end of this round. I don't know whether Bruno realized that this man still had a lot of strength left, but if he didn't know, he knows now.
6 out. Round 8.
The bell for the 8th, something Bruno's never heard before. Standing there, gloves down, and Bruno can't do much about it. Now, whether Frank's feeling the effects of a long fight, which he's not used to, or whether he has got hand trouble, that might be it. Through it at last. Again, the left jab, the only weapon. Bruno goes back slowly, very deliberately to the corner.
Seconds out. Round 9.
2 rounds to go. Beginning to look as though we might go the full 10. The fight has slowed down now, almost to walking pace, or less than that. Again, Bruno shakes that right hand, as though he can't get any life in it. Well, he must be a mile in front, Bruno. Can't be any doubt about that. But there have only been a few moments when this fight has threatened to flare into really explosive action. He's had Smith in trouble occasionally in the early rounds, not in the last few. And there have been one or two moments when Smith has looked dangerous, but without ever really following up. That was a good right. Suddenly the right appeared. And when it did, Smith looked very uncomfortable. So we're going into the 10th and final round. The longest fight Bruno's ever had. Well, he'd saved that right for so long, but at last we saw it. And here it comes. It was a good right hand. Took him a bit far back, but turned him round. Bruno's never had to touch gloves before to signal the start of a final round. Now, I wonder if the 10th will resolve itself in some extraordinary way. Well, in every way, it's a different sort of fight from any that Bruno's fought before. It's almost as though he's deliberately taken this man and used him to get some experience, some really competitive experience. He's used his jab more than I've ever seen it. He's saved his right for some reason. And he's had a workout without ever getting careless. Legs went, and you better get off those ropes and out of trouble quickly. And Bruno is taking too much, and he doesn't know where he is. Smith doing a Cummings on him, and Bruno looks out on his feet to me. Oh, he's got him. Oh dear me, the end of the Bruno story by the look of this. He took it all on the ropes, and the left hook whipped over, and he's counted out. Bruno is knocked out in the 10th round. Bonecrusher Smith has crushed his man, and the Bruno story is virtually over. Frank Bruno counted out in the 10th and final round. It did resolve itself in some extraordinary way, and he has to be lifted and sat on his stool. And the Smith corner can't believe their good fortune. Dangerous to the last, never underrate an American. Bruno ran out of steam, couldn't get off the ropes where he'd been for so many rounds previously. And the man with Emil Griffith in his corner had him in the end. And the Bruno success story is certainly temporarily at least halted. A mile ahead, and then suddenly, where he'd gone so often before, back to the ropes, and the punches started raining on him. And he had nowhere to go, no place to escape. And at this point, the finish was only slightly delayed. The vast whipping left hook took him, and he couldn't regain his feet. Well, we can see it from another angle now. Look at Bruno, arms down. Not really, I think, at this point, even knowing where he was or what was happening. He really couldn't escape. And the last crushing left hook, the bone-crushing left hook, ended the success story that went for 21 fights and came unstuck on number 22. Frank, I'm sorry, old son. What do we say about that?
What can I say, Harry? You know what I mean? Some of us get beaten. I was winning every round, but got caught and I got put down, I got knocked out. What can I say about that? Sometimes we all get knocked out. Joe Bugner got knocked out in his first fight, you know what I mean? Some of us, Joe Frazier got knocked out. Muhammad Ali got stopped, you know what I mean? So many fighters got stopped, but it was a shame to get stopped by a sort of like a novice, a 14, what's the name, contest, man. But, you know what I mean? We all get beat as long as some of us can come back from, you know what I mean, a defeat, you know what I mean? I just got beat.
It was so near the end, though, wasn't it? You were well in front.
Yeah, I was well in front. But, you know what I mean? And the first time I've been 10 rounds, some people say, he couldn't go more than 4 rounds. He just fighting dead bodies. Maybe he was a dead body. He had 14 fights. He's ashamed to get beaten by a guy like that. But, you know, he was a banger. And, you know what I mean? The last round, he just caught me. Maybe it's all in my favour for him to knock me down, for me to come back a little bit more stronger, Harry.
You looked at times as though you were using the fight to get a bit of experience, as though you wanted it to go the distance.
I really, to be quite honest, I wanted it to have a little bit of experience, you know, because you can't keep on knocking everybody over. That's what I keep on saying to a lot of the press men. You can't keep on knocking everybody over, you know what I mean? Because you can't be a George Foreman. You've got to have the rounds under your belt. But so I got beat, Harry, you know what I mean? I feel like to cry in front of all the press men. Yeah, I feel like to cry in front of you. But, you know, only the strongest and the fittest survive, and I'm very, very sorry that let me manage it down.
Was 10 rounds too much for you? Because you started going to the ropes a lot towards the end.
I didn't try to go to ropes because I knew he was a body puncher. I wanted to tire him out a little bit. I thought he would have tired by the 5th round, you know what I mean? But I was wrong. He was a strong 29-year-old man. And he was a novice, but he caught me. Everybody got caught. Joe Bugner got caught, I think, in his first or third professional fight. But that's how life goes.
You didn't use your right hand a lot,
I didn't.
Have you hurt it?
I haven't hurt my right hand, you know. I was trying to use it, but he was a cagey little old fox as well, you know what I mean? Every time I try to use right hand, he blocked me, you know what I mean? But all I could say, I'm sorry to my fans that I let them down. I'm sorry for the people that I let down, and I'm sorry that I let my manager down.
What's Terry Lawley's got to say?
I'm just sorry as well. How can you say in a couple of words? Obviously, the occasion got to him. He wasn't the Frank Bruno we'd seen. He was as tight as a drum. I don't think Mark Kaler's defeat helped him at all. You know, they're very close as friends, and the look on his face was, you know, you had to see it to understand it. And then to go out in front of all these people who expect so much from him, and quite rightly. And I've tried to tell everybody that experience is what he needs, and tonight showed he needs experience because he was so far in front, and you know, a bit more experience, he'd have known how to coast that round and gone home with a win.
Long rest now?
He says a long rest, you know, Frank, I guess he's going to have his mouth stitched. I guess within a week he's going to want to start working again, but he won't be boxing for some time.
Frank, I don't know if you want to see this, but this is how it ended.
We have to see it for, you know, it's all experience, isn't it, Harry?
Couldn't get out of the way.
I was pretty tired there. I wanted him to sort of punch himself out, but, you know what I mean, it was the last round. I knew I just had to grip my teeth and hang on in there, but it was the last round. It's the first time I've been 10 rounds, you know what I mean? He was a strong 29-year-old man, 16 stone. He weren't better than me, I'll put it quite honest, but he was
Not
a little
for 9
bit...
rounds, he wasn't?
Right, he was stronger than me. Everybody gets caught, but, you know, I can't make no excuses, you know? I got beat, you know? I was the strongest and the fittest survive. I got beat. You know, a lot of people might be laughing out there. I'm glad he got.
Don't think so.
Got his.
Don't think so.
I think I'm glad he got his, you know what I mean,
Nobody's
backside
laughing.
kick. But, you know, I'll be back, Harry.
Well, now, from the same stable as Frank Bruno, we have Mark Kaler, the British and Commonwealth middleweight champion, facing a danger man from Philadelphia, Buster Drayton. Now, a few weeks ago, Drayton came to this country